Good morning. You are with me, Miriam Angel and Salim Barisa on the Breakfast Club. And in studio, we do have two young men. And I know there's a third person joining us today. We started this conversation earlier on what's holding Gen Z back when it comes to registering to vote. And so we continue with that conversation here as well. In the meantime, roll call, uko wapi na tusikiza ukiwa wapi, 0700917917 is our WhatsApp number. Also, you can go to social media at Swahili Port FM on Facebook X and also on Instagram.
Oh yes, tuangalie wale ambao kwamba bila shaka wanasafiri nasi hapa haraka upesi. Huyu ni Timothy Lewa kutoka Samburu huko, lakini kuna kina Sophie Zawadi pale, Juma Nyae, Deloya Samuel kutoka Lungalunga kule, Aziza Mbeza, Abdalla Hamisi kutoka Likoni, lakini kuna Jamila Shehe pale, Bazenga Sido, kuna Pauline Dena, Mwana Juma mjukuu wa Sule, Ali Kombo, Sifa Menza, Mwana Hamisi Said kutoka hapa kwa Hola Magongo, alafu kuna Carlos Igobo na Jasia Kababa na Juma Hamis pale, bila kumsahau Simeon Ngala.
Thank you so much for keeping it locked. You can also share your views on what's holding Gen Z back, or rather what's holding you back from registering to vote. In studio, I have Zachary Orangi. He is an MCA aspirant, Portrees Ward. I also have Esha Mohammed is on her way. She's a youth advocate, team lead, case management at Swahili Port Foundation. And I also have Felix Otieno. He is an electronic engineering student. He's just graduated from University of Nairobi. But we're laughing about this because I had saved him as Wakili. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
We're doing great.
Karibuni sana.
Asante.
Felix.
Yes.
You just graduated.
Yes.
As an electronic engineering student.
Yes.
But you also mentioned that you're going to study law.
Yes.
Why?
Okay. As you are aware, our country currently is in a state of distress, whereby if we don't do things right within the shortest time possible, we're gonna have no country.
Mm-hmm.
So as a lawyer, I'll be interested in shaping the policies of this country and trying to bring it back. So I'm just interested to help join fight of reclaiming our country, which is in the risk of being lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm interested in joining law.
So this is going to be a second degree.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Zachary, good morning.
Good morning, man.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Why do you want to vie for an MCA position?
Okay, first of all, thanks for the opportunity to come to Swahili Port FM. And thanks. Actually, I am so happy this morning before I even answer your question, because I'm a Manchester United fan.
What happened?
And yesterday night was a very good night for us. So before we begin even any discussions, I want to express my joy with my team.
Yeah.
And go directly to what you're tabling to me as a question, because the subject today we have, the kind of subject we're discussing today, it's what is holding us young people back. This is after we've had the Gen Z awakening, that is 2024, and we lost most of us, which was very unfortunate, and we expected to step up and do something. So people are asking themselves a lot of questions. That's why we're actually here to unpack the whole question of what is holding us behind. So I am stepping forward as a young man who understands a responsibility, more especially when it comes to leadership roles.
Yes.
So if as young people we can go into our comfort zone, we can go back into our places of enjoyment, we can go back to everything that we always do and continue complaining on social media. 2027 is coming and we'll have nobody in the leadership positions, and I bet with you we will have to go back again to the same complaints that we have been having again and again. So I'm presenting myself as somebody who understands myself responsibly. And again, I'm presenting myself as a young person who's stepping up forward to vote and continue chanting the awakening that we had in last year, 2024, so that as young people, we can get to hold leadership positions again. We can get to actualize the visions that we've been having from behind. So I am stepping forward as somebody who has understood where we're supposed to head as young people.
Okay. All right. Felix, are you registered to vote?
Yes, I'm registered.
Oh, good. Why?
Okay. As you know, we youths, we form the major percentage of this country, about 70%.
Yeah.
Which means if we step forward to vote, the decision to shape our country to the right trajectory relies on us.
Yes.
So that's what motivated me to register as a voter, so that I also participate in shaping the trajectory of our country.
Yes.
Since an election provides a fault line for us to choose about the best that we want, or leave it to the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Zachary, what about you?
I'm registered as a voter.
Yeah.
And my polling station is Lilongwe. That is near Portrees, the other side. We have a polling station in Lilongwe, Mnazini there. That is my polling station.
Yeah.
So I'm registered as a vote, and I'm ready to cast my vote, starting with myself as an MCA in 2027.
Okay.
Portrees one.
So let me give you the figures of IEBC, where IEBC expressed concerns over slow pace of voter registration among young people, revealing that only 20,754 new voters have been added to the roll in the past 2 weeks of the ongoing, though they carried out a voter registration exercise, right? And it stated that only 20,754 new voters were added. So in the statement, the commission, as much as it appreciated Kenyans who have already registered, it also asked people to come forward and register to vote. In specific, the Gen Z. Why are we seeing a slow process when it comes to the young people registering to vote? We saw a huge turnout with the 2024, when there was the protest with the 2024 finance bill, right?
Yes.
We've seen how Gen Z can come together and push for something. At that point, I think even like there was a lot of fear. Oh my God, this is such a huge move. They can topple something. But when it comes to an important thing such as our civic duty, we are seeing some sort of reluctance. Why?
I believe I'll go first on this one.
Yeah.
You know, the subject of voters registration, before even we come down to the young people who must come out and register as voters,
Yeah.
we must start with where the backbone lies with all this all these things, because the people responsible in registering voters are the IBC. Again and again, I've said, like in Mombasa, the only place where voters are being registered to vote in this island, it is the other side of Kizingo from the office. And the last time we were there, we called out IBC because most of us knew IBC was in the other side, almost in State House. But the shifting of the office to the other side, it's some information that something that came out of. I think it came at the point where it wasn't supposed to happen, because this is a crucial time where that office was supposed to be operating well, and most of us know it's there. So the information to the people down here, it's not there, that the office has moved to the other side. Secondly, we cannot have an IBC that is promising us credible elections come to 2027 that is not committed to ensure that the least people, wherever they are in the places, are registered as voters. You cannot tell me, as young people who's struggling financially, who's struggling to even get bread to our tables, that you expect us to go very far, use our own money, do more than we can do, to go to Kizingo, probably all the way from probably Chuda, all the way from let's say the other side of Old Town, probably Shimanzi down there. We're coming to this side to register as voters. Now, I won't blame the young people for doing that, because the IBC should devolve the activity of registering voters. The IBC should come closer to the people. Again, young people have that faith that as time goes on, probably they register. But right now, we have people in schools. We have people struggling to wake up and look for something to take. We have people struggling to even get them fare to go to IBC to register as voters. So we will not entirely blame it to the young people, because one, we have time. Secondly, we will also request the IBC to come down to the people. So I'll not blame the young people.
Okay,
as far as
so you want IEBC to come down to you?
Yes. IBC should come down to the people. When Rastas the Kudong is complaining about the amount of money IBC is being allocated,
yes,
he should also complain more on how he should get more resources. Actually, he was complaining about the amount of resources is getting to actually hold by-elections. Our focus should be how we register more young people, because it's a responsibility of IBCs to sensitize even me in as much as I'm well sensitized. Is their responsibility to sensitize me about voters registration? How many workshops have IBC held in Mombasa, for example, since the commissioners were instilled into place?
Yeah.
They haven't held no even one workshop with the young people to tell us on how we should register, on what we should do to actually mobilize ourselves towards registering. So there is nothing they've done around that.
Okay, so let me ask you, still on you, Zachary, where did you register to vote?
I registered from Changamwe. Changamwe. There is the IBC office in Changamwe. It's inside the fire's office.
Yeah. So you left and went there to register?
Yes, I left.
Okay. Felix, you also stated that you registered to vote, right?
Yes.
Where?
At Akoko Primary in Migori County.
So you went. So you left Mombasa and went to Migori County.
Yes.
To register to vote in 2027.
I actually voted in 2022.
You did.
Yes.
Okay. So.
But wakati ukiregister ulikuwa wapi ndio ukaenda kuregister huko?
The voter registration during that time found me at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that made it easier for you.
Yes.
All right. Let me ask you the same question I asked Zachary. What is holding young people back? What is holding young people back when it comes to registering to vote?
Okay.
According to you.
Okay. As you are aware that in 2024 there was the Gen Z uprising.
Yes.
And one thing that catapulted this Gen Z as uprising was the online.
Yes.
I mean the online platform, the Facebook, Twitter,
Yes.
and TikTok. So you find that most Gen Zs are in these platforms. But here comes a situation where the IBC, which is the body that is supposed to do awareness, to create awareness about legislation of voters, we find that, like yesterday, Tabitha Olwatch from Siasa Place just gave us an overview that IBC has only 1,000 followers on TikTok, and they post rigid content. So you see that with 1,000 followers,
Yes.
IBC and the admin of the page is not posts rigid content. So how do we
Yes.
expect young people to be aware of such contents? Yet, other people in industries like art,
Yes.
they are all over. They have recruited people to create awareness of their products. But here comes a very pivotal body that shapes the trajectory of our country, having only 1K followers, which my followers, and I don't do any content, are
Yes.
even more than those of IEBC.
Felix, what kind of content would you like IEBC to post?
They should be making videos about importance of voter registration.
Yes.
And such on. Then
Yes.
again, we find that just as this guy has said, Zachary, I mean, sorry.
Yes.
He has said that people are unaware of these places where CVR, the continuous voter registration, is being undertaken. I personally, since it started, I was not aware of where it is being done. And I'm one of the guys who are youth advocates and are interested in getting change in this country.
Yes.
So if I am not able to know where this thing is taking place, what of person X who does not even have a phone? Will he or she know where this activity is taking place? So I think there is a failure in both side of IBC and youth. IBC also does not organize for workshops that do civic education about continuous voter registration.
Yes.
Yeah, you find that other bodies like Safaricom, when they want to do something, they announce all over, they hire the huge trucks. But have you ever seen one for IBC? Not really. So I think that is the hole
Yes.
that we have.
So IEBC is not doing enough sensitization.
Yes.
All right. Esha Mohammed, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Apologies for
being late.
Yes, for being late. I
Esha,
think I stuck in traffic somewhere.
It's okay. Have you registered to vote?
Yes, I've registered to vote. I think I've voted in 2022. I did vote.
Yeah.
Actually, I was part and parcel of IBC then, but I also in the other previous general election, I also did vote.
I like the fact that you've said that you were part and parcel of IEBC then.
Yes. I worked as a clerk and also as a DP.
Yeah.
Yes,
Do
at some point.
you think that IEBC is doing enough voter education for this for 2027's general election?
Sincerely, no. And I think it's a question that we did raise at some point. I was part and parcel of a convention by Uraia, and we raised that. Tukasema, IBC has yet to utilize or maximally do civic engagement to young people. And they agreed, because even the TikTok page that he talks about, we did raise it. And they highlighted several key things, that there are a little bit of bureaucracies, even how they engage, and they have to wait sometimes so that at least they can get momentum. But again, with a TikTok page, sometimes there's struggle.
Yes.
And we as young people, myself and other many young people, would find it not really interested in matters politics. And I think that's a conversation that also we should have. We are trying, and we are trying to be out there. We are trying to be politically correct. But then there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and that is where civic engagement comes in. And there was a question that asked, because I had that IBC had asked for around 6.7 billion to fund the 2027 general election, hoping that also that money will go to civic engagement. But what they said is in each office there is usually a voter, the person that does civic engagement. They've employed civic engagement officers within the office. And also something they say, they've attached the ID, within the registrar's office ID, to get someone as well that also from IBC. Immediately after you've registered for your ID, when you come to pick it up, there's someone that helps you also register for voting. Yes. So I know, and I also believe that there's a lot of work that the IBC should do, especially as we head to the 2027 election. But also I'd like all of us, especially as young people, to take charge of our own lives, because I believe voting is for us. It's not for any other person, but for us. And taking charge means allowing yourself to get access to information. Because IBC, when you ask them, they usually say, have you gone to our portal? Every information is in our website. Have you been able to visit some of our pages like Facebook? You'll clearly get information. But you realize not everyone, especially us as young people, is interested to be in such sites. It's probably someone that is very much aligned to political parties, for example, or is in the space of activism. And that is where the gap is. Growing up, we are not given the opportunity to either be part and parcel, to understand activism as we grow up. It was not a subject. It was just history for those that did history or GSC. But then, activism goes beyond that, right? So we needed a place where you can learn it. And that currently is a subject that is only done by CSOs, for example. So if you're not part and parcel of a CSO, then it is hard for you to really understand some of this conversation and even start talking about accountability.
All right. Yeah. Salim.
Amjambo nyote.
Hatujambo.
So kikubwa ambacho na mheshimiwa mtarajiwa
Zachary.
mheshimiwa mtarajiwa
Sasa kama wamekuwa wakili, wewe tu mheshimiwa bana.
Haya mheshimiwa. Wakili mheshimiwa. Mwalimu. Okay. So nyote hapa vile ambavyo kwamba mmelalamika kwamba hakuna elimu ambayo kwamba inatoka kuhamasisha vijana kujiandikisha kwenye daftari la kudumu la kupiga kura. Na IBC haifanyi jitihada kubwa za kufanya hivyo. Na sehemu kubwa ya vijana kwenye lile vuguvugu lenu la mwaka jana, kila mtu mpaka viongozi waliwasifu kwamba nyinyi mna nguvu kubwa kwenye mitandao ya kijamii. Lakini nyinyi ndio tena mnataka msukumwe ili mjitokeze, wakati nyinyi wenyewe ndio mlijisukuma. Lakini nimeenda kwenye ukurasa wa Facebook hapa wa IBC, wana almost 400,000. Right? As we speak, Commissioner Anderut leo amekuwa sehemu akizungumzia IBC. Kama vile nyinyi mko hapa redioni, pia yeye alikuwa kwenye redio akitoa hiyo hamasa. Kama vile nyinyi mko hapa kutoa hamasa kwa hao vijana wenzenu, pia na yeye alikuwa kwenye platform sawa na hii. Lakini nyinyi mnasema kwamba IBC haijitoi. Kama vile nyinyi mlivyofanya kazi mwaka jana na simu na kila kitu. Kwa nini nyinyi wenyewe hamjitoi hivyo hivyo mkahamasishana mkatoka kwa wingi kwa ni laki zile tuliwaona almost 100 sawa? Kwa nini nyinyi wenyewe hamjitoi mkahamasishana nyinyi kwa nyinyi? Kwa sababu mnasema, nikichukua mfano wa engineer pale, kwamba sisi ndio ambao kwamba tutataka kulijenga hili taifa upya. Mbona sasa sijui nani ataanza? Nianze na mheshimiwa. Kwa nini nyinyi wenyewe hamhamasishani kama vijana hiyo 70% mkatoka kwamba sisi tunataka kwenda kujisajili wa Mvita, twende huko Kizingo ambako wanasema ni mbali, lakini kama mnataka hizo jitihada zile vile mliofanya mwaka jana, inawezekana nyinyi wenyewe mkajitoa na mkafika kule kwa makundi mkajisajili. Kwa nini hiyo hamasa hamuitoi nyinyi wenyewe kwa wenyewe?
Okay, najua kwenye umeniweza ni kwenye umeanza kutumia Kiswahili, lakini
it's okay, you can actually use English, it's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, so the point is not that we have not done anything to actually sensitize ourselves within our circles. It is not that we've not done that. But we want to start discussing this point from the biggest bone of contention, and where responsibility begins in this whole thing is from the IBC. Now, last year, thanks for acknowledging, actually we did good work, but I won't celebrate it that much. Last year, the people who had the responsibility to do what happened that day were the young people.
Yeah.
And that was our sole responsibility. And the momentum that time was actually flowing because it was us who were versus them. This time round, we have the IBC, which is responsible. You cannot tell me, because I'm a Safaricom, I'm sorry. Am I allowed to quote?
I think you're the one who also, this
okay,
is the
I'm
second time
sorry.
you mentioned it.
I'm sorry for using that. If you actually a subscriber of a certain company,
yes.
let me say I'm a subscriber of Swahili Pot
Yes.
FM, you cannot tell me that it is my responsibility as a subscriber of Swahili Pot FM to do much of the work that the marketing team of this radio station is supposed to do within my locality. We as young people, we actually responsible within what we can do. Because, for example, today I woke up my friend who actually supports me, everything, and told him, I'm going to Swahili Pot, come and take me there. That is one of the people I've ensured that they are registered as voters. Because I know for a fact, we cannot work with the people who we have not agreed. And if I may quote even the Bible says, there is no way two men can work together unless they have agreed. So the people I'm working with, I've made sensitization of them. But what about the people I don't know? What about the people who come from places I can't not go to? Because at the end of the day, as somebody who's running as an MCA in Port Elizabeth, in as much as I'll work as how much is hard, probably there is places I'll never get to in Port Elizabeth. So how do I get to those people? Because me is running to ensure that those people are registered. So who's going to get to the other people I don't get to?
Now, swali litakuja.
Go ahead, let him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Zachary. Felix. Sorry, Felix.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Salem.
Okay.
Though you used a lot of Kiswahili, but you know, as people from the lake, Kidogo. So, you've asked why are Gen Zs not coming out to the day and mobilize themselves, how we did on 25th June last year to register voters. So you find that here comes a situation whereby IBC itself has lost credibility. Yeah, you find that personally, I started following politics in around 2006 when I was in Standard 1, when there was a radio presenter known as Waweru Mburu in Citizen TV. I started following politics there. So Waweru Mburu made me to believe that, may his soul rest in peace, former premier was going to win the 2007 general elections. Things went astray. Then comes 2013 again, things goes astray. 2017 until the court proved that IEBC itself is not credible. The courts proved. Then 2022 again, though I don't know the exact thing that happened, but it is it is alleged. It is alleged that things also went astray. So
Yes.
these young people they see no point to register as voters, because you're gonna register as a voter, but at long last the IBC shoots the last shot or pins the nails on your head by giving an unverified result. So you find that they say, at long last, my vote won't count. The leader is already decided on the boardroom. So that's one of the gaps there. Then another one, like this weekend on Saturday, I was in Chani ward. There was an empowerment going there, an empowerment in quotes. So there is no way I as a youth I will go and convince the young people there that let's go and register and voters, and at the same time some leaders there are giving them bales of unga. Not unga the drug, but
unga wa chakula.
Yeah, chakula.
Yes.
So what will they listen to? But at long last, the leader there will want these young people not to register, so that he uses the older generation that is used to manipulating to find what he wants. So I think that those are some of the barriers.
Yeah, and maybe to add, I think all through the years we have been tumekwa katika mahali ambapo tumekwa kando. And let's take ourselves back. Before Kenya got its independence, the young people were at the forefront as the foot soldiers by then. But then when Kenya got independence, it's the older people that took over, and we never heard of the young people where they came from. And then after we are done with the independence, came in the regime of the next president, which is Moi. May his soul rest in peace. When he came in during his time again, we saw that he focused to build Kenya as a one-party state. And young people are just forced to just remain, either serve the country, that is through the NYS, but also beyond that, sit within the youth wing, and they're just taken in as mobilizers. You see? And then after that, then came in the multi-party, where we felt that freedom is finally coming. Multi-party came in with the various political parties. But look at what is happening within the political parties. Most of the people that are there are old people and elites that are taking over from the young people. The youth wings that are there are not functioning. There are very few that are functioning. In Mombasa, we saw just the other day, ODM 20, that they're trying to pull themselves together. But the reality is, hakuna vitu zinafanyika katika hizo youth wing. They're just taken as political mobilizers. That is also something that we need to talk about. Are the political parties ready for young people? Are they able to ensure that we as young people have a voice in political parties? Now, beyond that, come to post 2007, after the elections happened, there are several things that happened but the big one is young people were told to be among the people that perpetrated violence in that year. And came in, something that was really beautiful was the National Youth Council. What is happening to the National Youth Council? It is just but a logo. Because it was through the NYC that we could have had the voices of young people making a lot of noise. But the NYC is nothing short but dormant and quiet at a period where we need it more. Now, we are done with the NYC, came in the Constitution, 2010. That is beautiful written, talks about young people, talks about how young people are part and parcel of the community, so we have rights. But then again, it is just but what? But conversations. No one is adapting. And someone said somewhere, show us youth policies that are working. At least then we can be proud and say, if we have a youth policy that is working, then it means when we elect someone, we are going to get something that is tangible and making a lot of sense. We are in Mombasa. Do we have a youth policy? No, we don't. A conversation that was started, I think, more than 3 years ago. We are post the Majimbo. Devolution. More than 10 years and above of devolution. But to date, we do not have a youth policy. We do not have frameworks. We have institutions that are not working for young people. The other day, Deputy President Kindiki spoke and said that we need to entrench patriotism to our young people. Hiyo pesa sepeleke NYC.
Well said, Esha. And I do have a lot of questions on that, but finish and then we'll follow up on that.
Mimi ni na mashaka bado na nguvu zenu, kwa sababu nyinyi ndio mna nguvu. Engineer pale amesema kwamba 70% ni vijana. Miaka ya nyuma vile ambavyo kwamba wewe umeisema kwamba tumekuwa na revolutions, hayo mavuguvugu, tulikuwa na kupigania uhuru, likaja likapita, tukaja tukawa na la multipartyism, likapita, tukaja tukawa na hii ya katiba, imepita. Sasa hivi revolution ambayo kwamba imekuja na tunaiona ni ya vijana ya Gen Z, lakini nyinyi bado tena ndio nikisema risasi nyinyi wenyewe ndio mnajipiga vita nyinyi wenyewe, kwa sababu nguvu mlituonyesha mko nayo. Alafu historia pia vile ulivyoisibu mko nayo. Huu ni wakati wenu nyinyi, lakini bado mnategemea taasisi ambazo wale watu wa nyuma hawakuzitegemea, wakapigana wakapata kile ambacho kwamba wamekipata. Wamewapatia platform ya kwamba mna uhuru wa kupigania vitu vyenu, si kwa kumtegemea Miriam, si kwa kumtegemea Barisa, si kwa kumtegemea kiongozi hapa, lakini una uhuru wa kufanya bado ukiwa unafuata nyenzo za katiba na ujitoe. Sasa hilo vuguvugu nguvu mko nayo nyinyi ya kwamba sisi ndio viongozi wa sasa, kama vile ambavyo tunamuita huyu mheshimiwa viongozi wa sasa. Kama kiongozi wa sasa huwezi kusukuma wale ambao kwamba unaamini wanafaa kukufuata wewe, uamshe watu waende wakajisajili kwa ajili yako wewe, wakuwekeo wafanye yale wanaoyataka. Nani atakayewasaidia kama si nyinyi wenyewe?
Ni kweli na nakubali unachosema, yani tuko na a lot of work hapo, lakini sasa we also need hatuwezi kujitoa tukasema attack institutions. Na nasema tena kwa sababu kina mama twende wa kina mama, because sasa tunaambiwa kina mama have a good voting block. If anyone wants to win an election they go. But if you look at also the history of women, they have been through suppressions and issues to when they decided that enough is enough. Ours just started the other day, and in that we had so many killings, so many abductions. Hata kama ni wewe, if you see that, you need now to see how can we else do it better. And do it better is ensure that the institutions that are supposed to be working for us do work for us, where we can hold them accountable. As we continue kuna nini kupiga kelele huku chini, vijana jamani, tuamkeni tufanyeni ABC, tuamkeni tufanyeni ABCD. But then remember, wanawake waliamua, and that is why there was a Beijing declaration. We need to be able to put ourselves together. But now where youth? And I was reading today as I was coming for this. I was reading in Taiwan. Taiwan did it. They had a sunflower movement, and it enabled them to push a lot of issues within Taiwan. And now the young people in that country are doing extremely well in talking about matters politics. Hapo ni mbali. Juzi, kunaitwani New York. We saw the same happening in New York. The now mayor of New York was elected by young people. The huge percentage is of young people. But because he showed there's a lot of trust for him to be elected, and we are asking the same. If young people can be mobilized vizuri, we are sure wataenda kuvote. Lakini sai hakuna.
And you see, Esha, I like what you're saying, and you see what triggered this conversation. We've had two guests here. One was the Speaker, Kwale County Assembly. He was here yesterday. The other one is former MCA Chuda Ward, right? Samba. Yes. And all of them said that Gen Z ni kelele tu. That when it comes to the ballot, they won't do much, right?
Yes.
And that was so painful to hear.
It is very painful.
And because there's a presidential candidate, Maraga, who's so big on Gen Zs, and he keeps saying that he wants to get 5 million, I think, Gen Zs to vote, to register as voters, right? And he's pushing for the young. And a lot of people might have banked on what we saw with the 2024 finance bill protest, with how people came up. But now, as we're gearing towards an election, because again, this is a civic duty, our question is, and you've all said we've called out the IEBC for not doing enough sensitization. I've indeed looked at their TikTok page, and you've mentioned they have a lot of following on Facebook, right? Facebook, a different target audience. TikTok, a lot of young people are on TikTok. They're missing something. Right? They're missing something, which is what they're saying. A lot of them are on TikTok, but then they feel like they're not being targeted. So more like when you look at IEBC, do you see the face of a young person in IEBC that would even influence that kind of push for you to get up and go vote? Aside from blaming IEBC not doing sensitization, with where you are as a young person and looking at the state of the country, Felix, you began by saying if we do not change the trajectory of our nation, things are will go haywire, right?
Yeah.
Then what is your responsibility as a young person, especially when it comes to exercising your civic duty? Let's forget the blames. Let's forget the this person is not doing their role, this person is not doing their role. What is our role as young people?
Okay, thank you.
Zachary.
Okay, let me take it first. I think I'll take it from him.
Yes.
And I'll come to you. You know, past the Gen Z movement that's last year, as he said, let me take the government now. The government realized the energy, ability of young people.
Yeah.
And now straight, let's go to the facts. The divide and rule game played immediately. That is why I'll call out people like Kasmuel.
Yeah.
I've never seconded Kasmuel past his exit to ODM. But personally, I believe in him because he decided to go where his interest was served. Because we couldn't serve his interest. Now, the divide and rule game comes in with money. The Goonism thing that people are saying, is it the deputy president who's saying Goonism should end? And all those things. I saw the IG Kanja the other time saying goons they're going to arrest goons.
Yeah.
And you see people like the deputy party leader for DCP Malala is saying goons are actually supported by the police.
Yes.
Let's head directly to Malava, the by-elections that ended the other day. Tell me, people like Seth Panyako, somebody who has been the SG of nurses for the longest period of time, I think since I started understanding nurses. I've been in the medical field, so I understand nurses. I've seen Seth Panyako in the nursing field. That's somebody who has built wealth. That's somebody who can hire even people to protect him. But that guy was drawn out of his hotel to be killed the eve to elections. Those are not rumors. Those are things that can be substantiated, and people saw that.
Allegedly.
You can say allegedly.
Yes.
You may. Okay. Thank you for your benefit. It's allegedly. But tell me, where as a young person sit comfortable with that kind of divide and rule game that plays when money plays, when Goonism plays,
Yeah.
when empowerment stories are brought to show young people that the government does care, in that people can feel closer to the people because of tokenism of motorbikes, because of tokenism of car wash machines, because of tokenism of some simple things, petty things, to just substitute the thoughts of young people who were killed as seeing. So the government played that thing so well. That is why as young people we've gone back a little bit to actually structure on how we can actually approach this thing, because there is money there is goons there, and you cannot stand those things. So if somebody has the ability to pay goons, if somebody has the ability to pay your friends, if somebody has the ability to plant leaders in this country, then we cannot approach that argument the same way we did approach those arguments last year. Actually, I'm very happy when you mentioned our two leaders who were here yesterday, and that thing is on record. You know, these are people we know. And if when you come here and tell us, people, such people are people who have young people in their houses. And I want to pray that next time you call elderly people like our parents to such places and ask them, are your children registered as voters? Because that also rests with them. So such leaders, we will not forget them when it comes to 2027. I actually I'm putting this thing in record.
Go ahead.
We will not forget these people. We will not. You cannot come out and tell us sisi vijana nikemoto tu wa makaratasi nikelele tu tunapiga. No. There is nothing you've done to us. You know, somebody I'm sorry to some big leaders. Let me just narrow it down to some people. You know, I could do somebody like our MP from Nyali. That guy comes and we make discussion and you wonder, is he the person? And somebody here tells us we is in Moto and Makaratasi. Those people will not forget about them. The face of the young people in IBC. I'll come to that as I conclude. Young people are jobless, by the way. And the worst of the worst is that IBC is waiting for the time. By the time they'll start having elections will come, that's where they'll start giving us jobs like clerks. By that time, that's when they'll bring those things like clerks. That's when they'll feel like they care about the young people. It is high time the IBC gets even young people to manage their TikTok accounts. The IBC account for Facebook has been there for the longest period, and it has been supported by our parents. We appreciate that. It's high time people like me are in the face of IBC and speak about the policies and speak about what we want as young people for IBC. IBC cannot do that. IBC must sit down with the people. They come to even institutions, we sit down, make meaningful podcast. That's when they'll get content to post on their TikTok accounts.
All right, Felix.
Thank you very much, Miriam, once again. So, as you've said, I think your question is our role as young people to shape this conversation of registering as voters. So, I want to first unpack this conversation in 2 dimensions before I finally blanket the whole issue that your point is about. So,
in less than 2 minutes, Felix.
Yeah, thank you. So you find that the 2024, if I'm not wrong, the Gen Z uprising, you find the conversation, it is alleged that it was shaped by a group of people seated somewhere because the kind of branding, messaging, and all the PR that was there, it was being shaped. So during this voter registration, I think there is no any other place that maybe guys have seated trying to shape the minds of the youths to the narrative for them to register as voters. Then second, we did a by-election in Magarini, and there is a young man who vied there, known as Katana. Yeah. He went to a national media station, and he said that when he was campaigning, he realized that these guys, the older generations, have set a system that going against is not that easy. So as I blanket the whole issue, I want to encourage the young people that it is time for us to also seek for these positions, like Zachary is going to seek for
an MCA
such positions, so that youths will go knowing that one of their own is on the ballot. We know many have already declared their interest, such as a friend of mine known as the Beast, Elvis Otieno. He is going to vie for Choda Award. So he has motivated students around that place are registering as voters because one of their own is on the ballot. So I think it is time for youths to come out and register as voters so that in 2027, as in for us, it is time for us youths with ability to come out and look for these positions to motivate the young generations that one of them gonna win these positions, and reaching them out will be that easy.
Okay. Sure.
I think, yes, we do have a role to be able to motivate fellow young people or participate, especially to go register. But then an example was shown just the other day during the by-election in Kasipul. Boy Dwere, below 30 years old, won the election. But he did not just win it. People supported him to win. And that is what can happen if we support young people, if we are intentional with young people. If you're not intentional with young people, you'll just put a lot of blame on their shoulders, saying it is Gen Zs, it is Gen Zs, it is Gen Zs. We should stop blaming the young people and support them to get these spaces, because it is through that support then we can have other young people feel comfortable to go and register. And that was a clear example. He was supported, he was given all the maximum resources he might need, even when IBC asked for 1 million, even though people say that he did not pay. But he got the necessary support to ensure that he is in that space. And that was a clear, very good example. If taken up in the 2027 general election, we are going to win it. And we have several youthful candidates. Can political parties, just like they did for Boy Dwere, put in effort for other young people to be in those spaces? So cheka nivo because uwezo kusema kijana hana hata shilingi kwa mfuko ashindane na mtu akona more than millions in their head. Unaona? It doesn't make sense. And that was a clear example. And then we know that IBC is trying. They have the youth. I was Googling, and there's the youth coordinating committee. But then it is inactive currently. We need to see them up and running. And he has clearly said we have a TikTok account. Can they maximize on that TikTok account? We'll be able to see better content. We start engaging and start getting a lot of information. But then to our fellow young people, yes, there are frustrations. We feel bad that things are not happening. But then us not voting is a decision made. It's a big decision made. And I was giving someone an example because they say they're not voting. If we have 2 candidates, candidate A and candidate B, and we are 5 of us in the room, and 3 of us, all of us are able to vote, right? But 3 of us decide we're not voting because the system is not doing this. So the person wins already, because the 2 will vote for the candidate that we do not want. So that already shows you not voting is a decision you have made that will bite you in the Yes.
I like that. I want to wrap up this with there's a message here from Ma. Good morning. Ma says, so I think the Gen Z demography is adamant to participate in their civic duties because of various reasons. Among them, young people think, why queue and risk time for politicians who will either steal or be irrelevant to my daily survival? And he says that mindset makes registration low priority. To them, voting is symbolic rather than transformative. He continues and says, risk-averse youth prefer low-profile or online activism. Some avoid anything that could connect them to a political identity or to state records. And then he also says that political structures that exclude youth, that is, no credible youth options. I think we've already mentioned that. He says that political parties, candidate selection and patronage networks favor older elites. Even when youth run, they often lack funds, they lack networks or media access. The results, few candidates who genuinely represent youth interests or feel trustworthy. And he says registering feels pointless if the choices don't include believable alternatives.
Yeah.
Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Totally.
So what, as we conclude, what change do you want to see? Zachary.
Okay. I think as we wrap up, the kind of change we want to see, in as much as we have a lot of frustrations, as my sister said, we want to see a place where young people are coming out. In as much as it's very expensive for us, young people are coming out. They are coming out to sensitize their older mothers and fathers about voters registration.
Yeah.
They're coming out to actually give the benefits of us young people existing in the political space. And that one, I'll believe it starts from my ward, the Portuguese word, which I personally am trying to do that. So I'm also looking at a place where we have to start accepting as young people that we don't have to go with the old system where we will have to monetize politics. We have to make politics be about goons. We have to continue singing to the tunes of the old. So in silence, as young people, and I believe our mothers also and our fathers wanasikiza hii radio, maybe acha ninge kwa Kiswahili. Naomba ni wakati sisi kama vijana wadogo, wazazi wetu, mama zetu, baba zetu, tuangalie siasa hizi kama mtandao ambao tutatumia kujiendeleza, kusupport watoto wetu wasome, kusupport kila mtu atoke kwa ile siasa ya zamani ya vita, siasa ya zamani ya kuhonga watu, siasa ya zamani ya kuimba wimbo wa mtu fulani.
Okay.
So hiyo ndio kitu ningependa kuona.
Sawa, Felix.
Thank you very much. As I wrap up this, I want to
Shortly.
to say that it is time that we as youth, we sit down and come up with youth-centered policies that will motivate our fellows to register as voters. We have to educate the youths that this voter legislation is not about politics. It's about our future that we shouldn't gamble with. And also, as I finish, these sensitizations require resources. And it is not automatic that all youths does not have resources. Yesterday, I saw Kenyan Prince launcher another 2 Benzes, which are worth millions of money. So we have youths with resources. Yes. So I want to encourage such youths also to
support
help
their
us
fellows.
Save our future.
I like that. Esha.
Yes. Kwa kumaliza. Yes, kwa kumaliza, I think we have seen the power we have as young people, and we have influenced the government. We need to inject more. And with the influence that we have done, we've seen what Tanzania is doing. It is through what we've been able to do. People have seen that it is working. So we need to push hard and ensure that we can be able to maximize on what we have done. But the other thing is we cannot do that if the institutions that are supposed to be working for us are not. I'm very critical of those institutions because earlier this year, the Ministry of Youth said we are going to have NYC elections in February. We are now in December. You see, if such institutions are not, do not have that political will to ensure we are then actively engaged, then to me they have decided, as he's saying, to segregate us and ensure that we are not coordinated to push an agenda. So that should stop. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, man. It's been an honor having the three of you here. I think this has been very informative, open. I've loved it, honestly. I've loved the conversation we've had today. Thank you. We've been speaking to Zachary Orangi. He is an MCA aspirant, Portuguese ward. Esha Mohammed Mohammed. She's a youth advocate, team lead, case management program at Swahili Port Hub Foundation. And then Felix Otieno is also an electronic engineering student. He just graduated. He is pursuing his law degree January, and we're celebrating him. And from us to you, we are saying adios. Remember, voting is your civic duty.
That's
You
true.
owe it to yourself, and change begins with you.
Yeah.
So your vote counts. From us to you, we are saying adios. Bye.